Terrible. People.
What is this?
Quiet on the set, quiet on the set. Who left the bathroom door open? Hey y'all, and welcome back to the Jump Off. Okay, we're gonna keep this quick because I'm hungry. But today we are going to talk about happiness and motivation and kind of how that goes together, I guess. So my question for you all is, what motivates you? Like, what lights that fire inside of you, gets you going, and also what makes you happy? What are your hobbies, or what are things that you like and you enjoy? And then once you have those answers, take this week to do one or two of those things. If you can't do it this week, you should take the time. But if you can't do it this week, schedule it in for next week so that you can take a break to really find that joy in life or to really help remotivate yourself. I asked y'all that because I have really felt unmotivated to an extreme, to the point where I feel like there's something wrong with me. So for me, motivation and inspiration are two different things. I can be inspired by just seeing something or hearing something, have the inspiration there, but then I have to be motivated to follow up and do something or create something. I got the inspiration part, but the motivation is just like lacking. And I'm like, am I broken? Like, what's going on? It's really freaking me out and making me concerned, because it's like my mind doesn't understand how I can have all these ideas and write all these things down, but lack the motivation to follow through to make them come to pass or come to life. It seems like something is broken in that. Thought maybe it was my health because I'm tired all the time, so maybe there's something wrong with me with that. I did have low iron. I was able to get that taken care of, like extremely low, to the fact that they were like, how are you functioning? Like I would fall asleep a lot, like not physically be able to do anything. Actually, I was really operating like at an extreme low, to where I could do just the bare minimum just to keep me like afloat. I couldn't do anything extra. It was so much energy out of me. And there are times when I would get on the internet like, hey y'all, what do y'all do for energy? Because I don't drink coffee. I don't do any of the caffeine things or like Red Bulls or that kind of stuff. And so I'm just like, I need something. So now that is taken care of, but I'm still kind of like, hey, I don't feel like doing this. Like, what is wrong with me? When I tell people this, they often ask me, okay, well, what makes you happy? Like, what do you like to do? What are your hobbies? What do you enjoy? And I sit there, I stare at them, and it's like, cricket, cricket, cricket. Like, I don't know. And then I get in this even more like, oh my gosh, why don't I know what makes me happy? Why don't I have any hobbies or anything like that? I had to kind of process the fact that since I was a child, I was basically told what to do, like everybody else. But in the sense of, well, you need to join this club or do this activity after school or even play this sport. Didn't really last long. But I was in ballet, like I was in youth leadership things. But you need to do all these things because these are the things that will help you get into college. So I was doing those things to cushion my resume. Not necessarily that I liked to do them, but because that's what my parents told me is what I needed to do. I had to learn to like my environment. And some of them were cool, but I don't know if I would choose to have done them myself just out of my own free will. I don't know. Went from that right into college. Okay, you gotta do what you gotta do. And the extracurricular activities that I was doing, it was also like, do those because it's going to help you get a good job. It's going to get you good connections once you get out of college. Well, then I ended up graduating and then going to school again. In that in-between time, it was like, okay, what do I need to do to be able to move out of St. Louis to get to California? So everything I was doing was driven by these goals. Everything was always goal driven. Got to do this to get to this. Got to do this to get to this. That's great. That is perfectly great. But there was no time in that structure for me to just explore and learn myself and what I like. So now when it's like, well, what makes you happy? It's like, well, I don't know what makes me happy, but I know that if I have a goal, I can create what I need to do to get to that goal. That's how I know how to operate. It's kind of frustrating because when I have a job, I kind of put my all into that, and then there's no way to escape or have a hobby to take myself away from the work to kind of get a breath. So then it's just work, work, work. And then when I come home, like people used to laugh at me. They'll be like, well, what do you do in your spare time? And I'll be like, oh, I sit and I stare at the wall. And they laugh, but like literally I'll sit in here, not necessarily exactly just stare at the wall. Sometimes I do, but it's like I'll talk to myself, or I'll be like refining the plan that I have in place or whatever, but there's no like pit stop to like refuel myself, which is why I think I burn out a lot, because I don't have a step away from the job or from whatever it is I'm just constantly doing that. So I did on this show, probably like a season and a half ago, went and took a pottery class. And that was cool. I do want to kind of do stuff like that. But then I'm also like, I don't have time to be fooling around. I got to get on this, and this, because, you know, I got to find my purpose and everything. That whole time aspect is really kind of hampering and hankering me down, if that's the right verbiage to use there. But I really want to start to explore like what makes me happy. And it's funny because there's a bag right there on the other side of the camera from Nordstrom for their anniversary sale. And on the bag, all it says is happy, happy, happy. It's bright yellow with a smiley face. The word happy to me, it doesn't have any weight in my life because there's nothing I can attach to it right now. So I would love to hear what you all do to help you stay motivated or get motivated, things that you enjoy. And I know for some people they may not even intersect. What you enjoy and makes you happy may not be what motivates you. So if that's the case, then what makes you happy and also what motivates you? But if it's the same for you, what are those things that help you with that? Because for a while I was like, oh, well, it's making videos and making content. But then if that's the case, then why do I often drag my feet to sit here and make an episode? Why was I letting the season go to the wayside and just be like, well, I'll get there, I'll get to it? That's where I'm kind of like, if this was something I enjoyed, I shouldn't be dreading doing it. Not that I'm dreading doing it, but it is a chore for me. If somebody was like, oh, what would you want to do for the rest of your life if you could? I don't know what I could tell. I don't know. And if it was whatever I wanted to do, well, what would I do? Anyway, I would love to hear y'all's answers to those things. Maybe I can try a few of those and, you know, maybe find a hobby or 2 or 3. And I love getting ideas and hearing from y'all because then I know that it really does help other people. I love those type of recommendations. I want to thank you all for watching this episode, and we will be back next week with even more tomfoolery. This really wasn't tomfoolery, but we'll be back.